The wisdom of crowds when the mob becomes a nightmare. Part 1. Introduction. The collapse of the old world. Do you believe in the power of the people? We are often told that the wisdom of crowds will lead us to justice and equality. But in the brutal world of JOE Abercrombie, the crowd brings no wisdom. It brings only chaos, the stench of the gallows, and a sea of blood. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we step into the final, maddening chapter of the Age of Madness trilogy. The wisdom of crowds. If the previous books were a slow accumulation of injustice and resentment, this volume is the spark that sets the entire world on fire. This is the moment where every crown is tarnished, every oath is betrayed, and the characters we've come to love face a devastating truth: that sometimes the ultimate winner is simply the most ruthless person left standing. Brace yourselves. This is a journey with no room for mercy. Part 2. Summary. The Age of the Guillotine. The Union has finally broken. The revolutionaries, the breakers, and the burners have seized control of the capital, Adua. The old order has been dragged into the streets, and a closed council has been replaced by a committee of salvation. But instead of freedom, the citizens have received a reign of terror. 1. The nightmare of Savine and Orso. Savine Glokta, once the most powerful and glamorous woman in the Union, is now a target for the mob's fury. Meanwhile, King Orso, perhaps the most sympathetic and decent king in history, finds himself rotting in a dungeon. Their relationship, the cruel irony of their fate, and their desperate struggle to survive in a city where your neighbor might turn you in for a loaf of bread, forms the painful heart of this story. 2. Leo Danbrock, the rise of a tyrant. The young lion, Leo, has returned from his humiliating defeat with a broken body and a heart full of poisonous hatred. He is no longer the gallant warrior. He has evolved into a cunning, bitter politician, willing to trample over his friends and his own soul to grasp the levers of power. 3. Rika and the Northern Gamble. In the north, Rika faces her greatest challenge: how to hold a throne against legendary warriors and the haunting prophecies of her long eye. The way she plays the political game in the north results in one of the most brilliant and satisfying reversals you will ever read. 4. The Fall of the Magi. The shadow war between Bayaz and his enemies reaches its climax. But this time, the wisdom of crowds has introduced a variable that even the first of the Magi could not predict. The world is changing, and the old masters are finding that their strings are being cut. Part 3. Artistic Highlights. The Art of Torturing the Reader. Why is this book so incredibly compelling? Because JOE Abercrombie is a master of subverting expectations. When you think a character is about to be saved, he pushes them into the abyss. When you expect the villain to be punished, he gives them a victory. The allure also comes from the suffocating atmosphere of the revolution. Abercrombie vividly depicts the sham trials, the public executions, and the terrifying way decent people change when they are given power over others. It feels frighteningly real, acting as a dark mirror to some of the bloodiest moments in human history. The dialogue remains razor-sharp. Glokta's biting cynicism and Orso's tragic, self-deprecating humour are the specialties that keep you glued to every page. Part 4. Reflection. The Bitter End of Madness. The deepest takeaway from this finale is a classic historical warning. The revolution always devours its own children. Those who overthrew tyrants in the name of justice often end up becoming tyrants who are twice as cruel. The fates of Orso, Leo, Savine, and Rika do not provide a traditional heroic satisfaction. Instead, they leave you with a profound sense of shock and reflection on the nature of power. The wisdom of crowds turns out to be nothing more than collective bloodlust led by the most ambitious among them. Abercrombie shows us that in the machinery of history, humanity is a luxury, and the best people are usually the ones who pay the highest price. Part 5. Conclusion. Farewell to a mad world. The wisdom of crowds. Closes a long journey of blood, industrial soot, and dark conspiracies. It leaves a void in the reader's heart, but also a deep admiration for JOE ABERCROMBIE's talent. He didn't give us the ending we wanted, but he gave us the ending the world of the First Law deserved. Thank you for joining me until the end of this madness. How do you feel about King Orso's ultimate fate? Does Leo Dan Brock deserve what he achieved? Let's debate in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can continue exploring more literary masterpieces together. Goodbye for now, and be careful, because the crowd is watching you.